Paul Foster-Bell.
Ko atuarua tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe.
E te mema o te whare paramata o Aotearoa, tēnā koutou katoa. Sir, I'm going to make a brief intervention in this first reading debate on the Electronic Interactions Reform Bill and begin by congratulating the Honourable Peter Dunn for bringing a very sensible set of measures to the House. Sir, we are living in the 21st century and this government has made great progress already towards implementing our Better Public Service target of having 70% of the most common transactions that government offers to our citizens available and delivered electronically. I've got some personal experience recently in signing up for the Real Me, the full Real Me verification service in order to become a marriage and civil union celebrant. And I can say, whilst it was initially a little bit of an arduous process to go down to the post office and be identified and to have the photograph taken and to supply all the documentation and then to have the materials sent to my postal address, my home address, so that they could verify my home address, ultimately, once you've got that set up, that gives you access to a wealth of government services so much more easily, so much more conveniently than would ever have been possible before. Like the member opposite mentioned, the very distinguished and learned member opposite mentioned, there is a digital divide and we have to make sure that services are available not only to older and younger New Zealanders, but also to those of different abilities, I think. And technology does have the potential to be both a great leveller as well as the great enabler of efficiency. So those with sight or hearing challenges, with the technical improvements that have been offered, such as, for instance, being able to communicate verbally through a speech recognition tool, there are significant prospects to make it easier for our disabled New Zealand citizens to access government services. But this is a very sensible set of measures. I think this government will go down in history as one of the great reforming governments, and that we have brought in just yesterday the Land Transfer Bill, which brings the land transfer system firmly into the 21st century from its 19th century origins in South Australia. The 1858 Real Property Act that was brought in by Sir Richard Torrens, GCMG, the third Premier of South Australia, for instance. That's another example, but this bill in particular, the thing that I'm excited about is that it allows the Real Me verification service to be extended to a far wider range of government services. There really is very little excuse for any government department not offering Real Me verification, because it's a much better system than a person walking in and having a human compare a photo and a signature with what they see in front of them. The machine actually makes far fewer mistakes than a human. But where there are, I think, some barriers to that is archaic legislation. That's what we're fixing here today. It's an excellent bill, Mr. Speaker, and I commend it fully to the House.